Hi, and welcome to our next junior algebra video. This is our third video on expanding quadratics. And now we're going to introduce, I think we've got 3 examples in this video, which are a little bit more tricky. Right, so far we've talked about taking factored form of quadratics and turning them into expanded form. Right, here's the first of our 3 examples. Example 1, let's expand this quadratic. The first bracket is x minus 6, and that's been multiplied by the second bracket, which is x plus 6. Right, so here we go. X times x. X times x is x to the power of 2, or x squared. X times the 6 is 6x, but it's a plus 6, so we're going to write down plus 6x. Now we're going to go x times this 6, or 6 times x, which is 6x again, but it's a minus 6, so we have to write down minus 6x. And finally, we get to go 6 times 6. Remember, every rainbow is a multiply, so 6 times 6 is 36, but one's a positive and one's a negative. Remember, when one's positive and one's negative, the answer must be negative. A positive times a negative is a negative. Right, now we have to simplify. So let's simplify. X squared is the only term with x squared in it. Now, when we come to simplify the like terms in the middle, we have plus 6x minus 6x, so we basically have 6 minus 6, which is nothing. And then we have our minus 36. Now, you could write it like this, but there's no point in writing no x or 0x. It doesn't seem worthwhile, so we're going to simplify and write it as x squared minus 36. That's it. So basically, it's the same as normal, apart from the 2 like terms in the middle cancel to 0. Now this has a special name. It's called a difference of 2 squares. We're not going to get too caught up in the flash name right now, so long as you are comfortable in expanding it and identify that the 2 terms in the middle cancel to 0. All right, let's talk about example 2. Let's expand this guy. Here we have one bracket, x plus 7, but it's got a power of 2. And you need to remember that a power of 2 means that there are actually 2 brackets, but they're exactly the same. So we've got x plus 7 times x plus 7. So now let's get into expanding. X times x is x squared. X times this plus 7 is plus 7x. X times this plus 7 is plus 7x as well. And a positive 7 times a positive 7 makes positive 49. All right, we can simplify, so we get x squared, the 7x plus the 7x in the middle, the like terms give us 14x, and we have our plus 49 at the end. Nothing too difficult, so long as you remember at the start that an x plus 7 all squared represents x plus 7 times x plus 7. There's 2 brackets that are identical. This also has a special name. It's called a perfect square. But again, don't get too caught up in the names, so long as you can identify how to expand it. Right, we finished with example 3, the trickiest of them all. Notice it's got coefficients at the front of the x's, and it looks quite tricky. So here we go, we have our first bracket of 2x plus 3, and this has been multiplied by our second bracket, which is 3x plus 1. All right, let's get into expanding. Our first rainbow, 2x times 3x, will make 6x squared. 2 times 3 is 6, and x times x is x squared. Right, 2x times this positive 1. 2x times 1. Anything times 1 is itself. So 2x times 1 is just 2x plus 2x. Right, 3 times 3x. Excuse me, positive 3 times 3x. Makes positive 9x. 3 times 3 is 9 with the x. And finally, 3 times 1, a positive and a positive make positive. So 3 times 1 is just 3. So now when we go to simplify it, the only term with x squared is the 6x squared. The 2x plus the 9x in the middle are like terms and add to 11x, and we have our plus 3. All right, thanks very much for watching.